Welcome to the new podcast, episode number 53. My name is Steven. I am joined, as always, by producer and co-host extraordinaire Kelly. But stop the presses, scratch the records. I got a guest host as well tonight. Morgan rejoining the show again, back from a hiatus. He was saving Guatemalan children in the jungle. Morgan, welcome back. Let's get to it here, folks. What a week we had. I keep forgetting to talk about Rugby World Cup that's been going on recently, too. It's fucking been really exciting. Rugby World Cup. World Cup of anything really is always good. The only unfortunateness of the World Cup is how bad Canada has been this year. Basically getting just destroyed by every team they come up against, which is real shitty. But hey, they made it to the dance. That's hard enough to make it there in the first place. To make it there, and my hat goes off to them. Anyway you slice it, it's tough to get there, but it's been actually really enjoyable. Japan, how good they're doing, obviously with the powerhouse of South Africa and the powerhouse of New Zealand tearing up shop too. It's actually been really enjoyable. Check it out if you guys haven't seen it. But this week, with the lack of MMA news, there's no shortage of MMA events, but this has got to be the biggest week in pro wrestling since like the late 90s. I'm going to say 20 years. This is the biggest week in pro wrestling with the Wednesday night wars going down. NXT versus AEW with the premiere of Raw. Even though the show runs 365 days a year, Kelly, you know what I mean? For some reason they need a premiere. But man, was it good. It was amazing too. But it pales in comparison to the premiere of SmackDown on Fox. SmackDown Fridays on Fox. Everything that went down was fucking insane. All I can say, Morgan, it was like a WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Don't you think? Huge. Yeah, man, it was like a WrestleMania. It was amazing. It was fucking amazing. Let's just get right to it. I want to talk about the Wednesday Night Wars first, with NXT going up head-to-head against AEW on Wednesday night, with the huge announcement, obviously, of AEW being on TSN here in Canada. TNT in the States, TSN in Canada, NXT moving over to USA Network, and then still also being on the WWE Network. It was kind of still shitty because I recorded it on the WWE Network. It said it was 2 hours, said it was all the matches, everything that was going down. It was actually the viewing party. So I had recorded a stupid-ass viewing party, Kelly, of the event. So it was just a bunch of dudes, people interchanging on a couch watching the event I wanted to watch. And it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It was unwatchable, basically. You need the person in charge. You need that person in charge kind of setting the pace, starting the flow. They didn't have that. They had a bunch of WWE superstars, unscripted, uncut. It was pretty rough.
Which superstars?
Just NXT guys. Nothing. They had Apollo Crews.
They went wrong right there. That guy can't even talk.
Exactly. You get the worst guy in the mic there. They had a bunch of other different dudes. Like I said, I fast forwarded through the later part of it, and I didn't really catch the later part because it was basically, there was a lot of silence. There was a lot.
Apollo Crews is there.
Exactly, right? So that was just amazing. I just loved it, though. AEW, I think, kind of wins it in my book. I thought NXT put on a good show. Obviously, we're the return of Finn Balor. I'm not a big Tommaso Ciampa fan. I'm not a huge fan of him. I know a lot of people liked his return. I could really give two shits about the guy, to tell you the truth. I think he's too small for 205 even. And he's got a decent personality, but anybody could be a heel, really. And I think that's the main problem we're seeing with NXT. And correct me if I'm wrong, Morgan. It's kind of more, the talent has been stripped, and they really don't have a great up-and-coming roster of dudes coming up. I think they're kind of struggling a little bit, with Matt Riddle's great, but I think he's already going to catapult ahead. We're seeing with Velveteen Dream too, he's great in singles, but I just don't think, they've kind of been around for a while now. Matt Riddle, probably the newest, but Velveteen Dream's been around for probably close to a year now. Obviously Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era is kind of carrying that, kind of the NXT right now. I don't mind it. I think it's good, but I just think it's kind of the same old song and dance. So you're this same old program of, Tommaso Ciampa being in the title contentionship against Adam Cole. And I like the direction with the Undisputed Era owning all the belts right now. I like it. But with that being said, you got something new and flashy in AEW, and I think they really knocked it out of the park with this event. It was a huge crowd and in Las Vegas, so you're in a kind of a mixed match capital of the world of where people just want to come and be entertained. But I thought it was actually a pretty good event. The talent wasn't exactly there. Like me and you, Morgan, talked about, the women's division is abysmal. It's absolutely terrible. So that's one thing they could, if you got to give them a negative, that they could capitalize on. But the matches were actually, I thought, were incredible. I think it's like fucking steak and mashed potatoes is good old JR. Just hearing his voice call the matches, I thought was great. And it was really good. The numbers are in, though, Morgan. The numbers are in. NXT on Wednesday, 890,000 views. AEW, how many views do you think they got?
I already heard what they got.
Yeah,
it was like 1.4.
1.4 million. So if you know what I mean. So AEW takes the win on the first event, but it's up against their WWE's worst show. You know what I mean. So I don't think they're all that concerned. But it was good. I like the end. Obviously with Johnny Moxley. Pile driving or whatever kind of weird move that was he did with his new inverted dirty deeds through that glass table, I thought was really cool. They had like a VIP section, Kelly, where people, I guess VIPs were hanging out, and here these two wrestlers come through your VIP section, and one dude goes through the glass table, where all the food is. I thought that was kind of cool.
And one of the VIP guys is like, "Man, I thought this was karate combat. What the fuck?"
What I didn't get was why the VIPs are like sitting backstage where they can't even see the ring.
Yeah, that's what I thought was odd too. I know they were like, totally like you were like at the walkway. But other than that, you can't see the ring at all. Exactly. I thought that was a bit odd, too. I did notice that. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I had like, what kind of VIPs are these guys? That's the drug dealers? Like, what's going on here? Because it was kind of in a more of a secluded area, so I thought that was kind of weird. But I think that was the biggest pop. We see the, Jake Hager, with his recent MMA success, Jack Swagger making his debut for AEW. And I think it was probably the biggest pop he ever received in his life. Huge pop for Jack Swagger. The chanting of "We the People" by the crowd, too, even. I think this guy's more popular than he's ever been.
Well, I think it's a bit of the whole thing with wrestling fans these days. Like, that guy's okay. Oh, he's in AEW? He's awesome.
A little bit. No, absolutely. A little bit, for sure. That's obviously what is profiting and keeping AEW afloat is all the basement dwellers. You know what I mean? All these karate keyboard guys and these basement dwellers are keeping AEW afloat. Big time, 100%. But they sold out. The crowd was huge there. You know what I mean? So it was a good showing for him. I enjoyed both shows. The rumor is Finn Balor's going to be having a stable, so I kind of like that. The Bullet Club or the Balor Club, whatever the hell he brings, to take on the Undisputed Era. I like that, and I think where NXT is going is a really good direction too. But I just think, it's tough to go up against when AEW's at a bit of a higher budget, I think, obviously. So, and I think that's what we saw.
And Y2J.
Of course, yeah, exactly, yeah, of course, yeah. And they actually had a really good match. I thought there was a really good match against the All Elite versus, I think they're kind of calling it Chris Jericho and Friends right now because he's making his stable with Jack Swagger and LAX and Sammy Govea. So I think it's going to be good.
The Bubbly Club.
The Bubbly Club, yeah, a little bit of the bubbly. Loved it. Let's talk some fucking SmackDown now here. Let's talk some... let's talk some Raw here first. Great season premiere. Really loved it. Obviously, the beginning with the attack of Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio and his son, Kelly. So just great. His son's obviously like 21 or something, 20 or something like that. Yeah. He's up way taller than Rey Mysterio, too. His name's Dominic. And Brock Lesnar grabbed him from the crowd and just beat the shit out of him. He took some good falls, and I think it was a good showing for Dominic because he wants to be a wrestler now too. For him to come in, I don't know if he's got it though. We'll see. He took some good bumps, and I just don't know if he's got the talk. So we'll see. I welcome it. It was a great premiere. They had a ton of cool shows on it. Obviously, I think it was the beginning of the end really solidified it for me with the whole time they're talking to Rusev and, where's Lana? They're always asking him throughout the entire episode and he's just kind of not answering the question. I thought it was cool, with Hulk Hogan, the announcement of their teams, Team Hogan versus Team Flair at Crown Jewel. I really like that. And Seth Rollins and Rusev will be on Team Hogan, has so far been announced. And it'll be the Viper, Randy Orton, on Team Flair. So I kind of like it. But obviously the end, crazy. It was close to getting there to R rating, Kelly. It was pretty heated. So Lana comes out. She's Rusev's. They are married in real life, Kelly. And Lana comes out with Bobby Lashley, you know what I mean? Bobby Lashley is another MMA fighter too, you know what I mean, and pro wrestler. And then they just start making out like porno, making out like crazy, like super great.
It was cheek in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's like, she's then got like her leg up, and like they're really going at it. Like they're going at it like teenagers. It was crazy, man. Like no, there was no faking like necking. They were straight tongue kissing and everything. It was crazy. Like. Crazy way to end the show. It was nuts, man. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. It was hilarious, but really good showing for Raw. Obviously, SmackDown, I think, SmackDown is obviously the biggest moment. They really threw out all the stops. Just a massive, massive event. You know, I love the new stages for both events. For Raw, the new Raw stage, the SmackDown stage. I thought they were really, really cool and different. I think that's what was cool about them, especially with the SmackDown stage, with kind of having that grid that comes down beforehand. I thought that was just the technology these days we have with this shit. I was just so amazed and wowed by it. Obviously, having the pyro back is super sweet. But the return of The Rock opening the show up. Like I said, man, it was like a WrestleMania. The Rock coming down, beating up Baron Corbin. I thought it was a cool touch. Aaron Andrews, that's how big this was. Aaron Andrews interviewing the New Day backstage. Huge move for WWE. The ladder match, I think, was probably my favorite match. You know, even though I hate Shane O'Mac. Shane O'Mac versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens getting the contract and firing Shane O'Mac. I think obviously Shane O'Mac just wants some time off, and that's what we'll see here. I'm sure we'll see him back again. It's kind of shitty if he does leave, because I do like his heel angle right now, just running shop and being a total prick and unreasonable. I think is a great move, but it's good to see Kevin Owens win it back in his Stone Cold style moment to say you're fired and then stun him. I thought that was really cool. Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman, like that's really cool. We've always seen like this boxing WWE, you know what I mean, coalition throughout the years with Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, obviously. And that's what WWE's trying to do. They're just, you know, they're creating these characters. You know, the Fiend is like Mankind, you know, and Undertaker a little bit wrapped into one. And, you know, we got Kevin Owens, who's kind of like Stone Cold. You know what I mean? So as we're getting these guys that are trying to recreate these guys. Seth Rollins is a lot like Bret the Hitman Hart. You know, we got these guys that are really trying to recreate these roles. It's easy, you know what I mean? It's been like that throughout the history of wrestling. You just got to fit these guys into these slots. Hopefully they do good enough. They're all good in-ring competitors, but can they do good with the script and with the mic? And I think that's what we're seeing here right now. But here we see Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman. I think it makes tons of sense. Huge move for both those guys. Obviously, WrestleMania is not too far away, really. You know, it's, you know what I mean, getting close now. You know what I mean? So we could see that come down in 6 months' time. But the rumors were true in the end. I could not believe it. Kofi Kingston, obviously everyone's seen him losing his title to Brock Lesnar in record fashion. Poor Kofi Kingston, you know what I mean? After everything, 11 years, he loses in basically 11 seconds. Loses his title to Brock Lesnar. But we hear the music of Rey Mysterio coming down to the ring, but he doesn't come alone. He's accompanied by none other than Cain Velasquez, the man to have beaten Brock Lesnar for his belt in the UFC, to come back. And I give it to Brock, Morgan. Like he really sold it. He looked shocked. You know, and he looked shocked. Obviously, he knew about it, but the look on Brock's face really sold the whole moment. Like he was actually a little bit scared, and I really enjoyed that. And I thought it was a really cool move. He was actually coming down, throwing some heavy heat onto Brock's arms. You know, if he was ground and pounding his arms, whatever, it looked real. But what a turnaround, I gotta say, for fucking Cain Velasquez, a dude to have just basically debuted just a few months ago in August for AAA. He looked amazing. And then the rumors were he wasn't going to show up because he just went for knee surgery. You know, obviously you could see if you watched the video, he had a knee brace on. But for him to come down for such a quick turnaround, to move from AAA to now the biggest stage in the world in WWE, and they're trying to set you up with the heavyweight champ right off the bat, the Universal champ right off the bat, the SmackDown champ right off the bat. This is fucking amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was totally shocked by how quick Kane came down, but I was thrilled. I couldn't believe it. What a SmackDown. Probably the best SmackDown easily in 20 years. Absolutely amazing. What do you think, Morgan? You loved it?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, you guys got Jack Swagger? We've got Cain Velasquez.
Exactly.
And Tyson Fury.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't compete with AEW. Can't compete with that. They're
One
more
thing
in the
I
middle.
loved about AEW was they had Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool move. They had a good chunk of celebrities too, and they even had them interacting with them as well, with like a tag team interacting with them, and saying how they suck and shit like that. So I thought that was really cool. Because I guess Chris Jericho's in Kevin James' new movie.
Kevin Smith.
Sorry, Kevin Smith. Yeah, Kevin James. The King of Queens.
Mall Cop Part 3.
But it
Starring
will.
Jericho.
Exactly.
We got a backup cop. Just fucking flies down from the second story, lands on somebody.
Does his finisher and like tries to pin them. Comes out of nowhere. Some referee comes out of nowhere.
Does he have like a catchphrase?
He got a few. Yeah, he's got a few. He's always like evolving. He's got a bunch of different
After
catchphrases.
he like catches the guy, he has to say something clever.
Yeah, exactly. You just made the list or something like that.
Stupid idiot.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
That'd be good. After you fucking main somebody, you call them an idiot.
What's more demeaning? I know, eh? Good move. A little bit of WWE news, wrestling news. I guess there's rumor was that Jim Ross, good old JR, was actually offered a massive contract to come over to the SmackDown show for Fox, and he turned it down. I guess his AEW money was far too big for WWE to bring him over. I guess because he's a part of the booking talent and also the main guy on the play-by-play, obviously. Shitty news this week again for a dude just can't seem to get his demons in grips. Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma, arrested again. DUI. Fuck. What's wrong with this guy? Driving while drunk again.
He can afford a cab.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just so confused by this. Come on, Jeff Hardy. This is like the show hasn't been around for a year. This is the second time I'm reporting on you, getting arrested for being drunk again behind the wheel, man. Come on. Get your shit together, man. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Come on, Jeff Hardy. You're better than that. But Morgan, I gotta ask you this week, today, with fucking Hell in a Cell going down tonight, does The Fiend find some way to beat Seth Rollins? With all of his popularity, I'm not the hugest fan of The Fiend. I don't mind it. It's okay. Kelly saw it. Kelly was not impressed. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people on the outside are impressed for some weird reason. And he's so popular right now. He's really getting a lot of people talking. But do you think he wins, Kelly or Morgan, in Hell in a Cell? Do you think he wins?
I have a feeling he won't, but I would actually like to see him win it.
Yeah, wow. Even you're on board.
I'm on board, man. He's
wow.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Something different than what we're getting all the time. I think they should run with it. Seth Rollins has had the belt a whole bunch of times for long periods of time. You give The Fiend a chance to run with it for at least a bit.
I think it may work right just for the time being right now. I think it may work. That's what's kind of crazy about it. I think that's what I got to ask you because I think they almost will give it to him. I think they actually will. So I think that was kind of a thought that popped into my head. Like shit, with all this shit going down and all these different changes, everything that the WWE is trying to do right now, I think they give it to him tonight. Something happens and they give it to him.
I could see something happening where there ends up being no real decisive winner.
I could see that obviously too. I could totally see that. The Fiend disappears from the ring or something or Seth Rollins, they both disappear, something like that. I could see that happening. I could totally.
The Fiend is somebody else, like another wrestler.
Dun dun dun. Well, because he is playing two different characters because it's Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And he has like this show called the Firefly Funhouse.
Okay.
Where he's kind of like a Mr. Rogers, but a bit super creepy Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And then he's talking how the Fiend is like this evil guy, you know what I mean, that no one wants to mess with. So he already kind of is like two different people.
Okay.
So that could work out, Kelly. Kelly, you been watching wrestling?
A little bit.
Oh shit. But I just wanted to get all that with this week of wrestling. Man, I really had to get that off my chest. Fuck, what a great week of wrestling. I just was like, it was like I was 8 years old again, man. It was an amazing week of wrestling.
Poor rambling rabbit.
Getting killed every time. That's his whole thing, though. That's his whole thing. Just getting killed. Let's break down some MMA news. Like I said earlier, not a whole shitload of talk about. There's a really quiet week. This is probably the most quiet week I've ever seen since doing the show for MMA news. There were, turning events coming up, scheduling shit. I think, we've had so much fight announcements being announced with all the year-end crap. I think all the bookmakers are kind of wrapping it up for the year, and whatever happens is going to be basically on the fly. But one of the biggest fight announcements, we see UFC 244 rounding out again, getting another native New Yorker and Gregor Giuseppe taking on Kevin, the Motown Phenom Lee, at 155 as well. So I don't know, Kevin Lee with his... Last time he fought at 155, he had fucking staph infection, and he had a hard time making weight. I don't know how he makes weight. I know he's training now at the TriStar gym with GSP. So maybe does he have his head straight, and does he have a good nutritionist? If anyone's going to be, good nutrition talk would be GSP in that camp up there. If anyone's eating right, it's definitely GSP. So I like the matchup. Two great wrestlers. I just don't know if Gregor Giuseppe, if he has the experience that Kevin Lee has. But on the flip side of that coin, Kevin Lee doesn't have the wrestling background that we see from Gregor Giuseppe.
Like 1-4 in his last 4 fights.
Yeah, exactly. Where Giuseppe is undefeated, and is going down to weight again. He couldn't make 155, so he went up to 170. And had been getting the shit kicked out of him, so I guess he has to go back to 155. We see a dude who has a hard time fitting into any weight class with Kevin Lee. I'm actually excited for the match, though. I think it actually is a good match, and it's a great stepping stone for Gregor Giuseppe if he can actually get past him. Big fight announcement this week as well for Bellator, going to be announced here. Bellator Hawaii going down December 21st. It'll obviously be headlined by Alima Lee McFarland taking on Kate Jackson. And we'll see the continuation of the featherweight tournament where AJ McKean will have a tough challenge with Derek Campos. I'm really excited about that one, obviously, with the women's flyweight belt. Alima Lee McFarland looking to add more notches into her history of that she has carved for herself. And, it's tough to say, guys, but do we see BJ Penn make an appearance? I
hope not.
I know, me too. I really hope he hangs him up, but I don't think he has a choice but to fight in this organization, unfortunately. I think he'll be in the crowd. Do they announce something, though?
Does he get in a fight in the crowd?
Does he get knocked out in the crowd?
Wow.
By random.
I think the answer to all these are yes.
Check.
Yeah.
He was going to announce something, but he's knocked out.
Exactly. Did we see it's just sad. Did we see a drunken, belligerent BJ Penn there? You know what I mean? Can he keep his demons in check while he's trying to make some money? Or do we see, do we see him maybe turn the page finally and announce something? A Legends fight. Some kind of Legends fight. You know what I mean? But I don't know up against who, though. You know what I mean? I don't really know up against who. Maybe Antonio McKee. I can see him fighting Antonio McKee. I think that would actually be a good fight. AJ McKee's dad. Two dudes who are well past their prime. I think it makes sense, but other than that, I just really don't know. I like that matchup, though. But with everything going down this week, and obviously throughout the week, was the calling out and berating of John Bones Jones to Israel Adesanya. Man, he kind of tore him up, a little bit. I thought it was a bit uncalled for. Calling out a smaller dude is kind of weird. But just to call him a bitch and say how he would basically expose him and take him to town. I don't know, Kelly. What do you obviously with the Israel, he's a small 185. For how tall and how big he is. The dude, he comes in 185. He doesn't even have to cut weight. He normally weighs it at 183. So, you know what I mean? As he gets older, I can see him putting on maybe 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Then you're 205. You know what I mean? And then you're going up against a dude who's like normally probably, you know, come fight days weighing 230. So it's kind of a, you know, even though they are the same height, a dude who's massive calling out a dude who is much, much smaller. I don't know. I was kind of a bit weirded out by it, but what do you make of it, Kelly?
I don't know. I've been seeing him kind of go back and forth with it.
For sure. No, he hasn't been quiet about the whole thing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He hasn't been quiet about the whole thing.
I don't know. I think everybody wants a money fight. Everybody wants a super fight now. So if you thought Israel was gonna win, be a good way to set that super fight up by just calling him out.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. But how much weight would he have to gain? Like, holy shit! It has to be open weight super fight.
Was it not Israel that called out John Jones first, saying that he would take him out?
Yeah, I think it was a long time ago.
Responded to that.
Yeah. John Jones wasn't impressed, but this newest call out was just John Jones just attacking him. Yeah, that was like probably like 6 months ago, and then John Jones basically said, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? And now Israel, you know what I mean? How loud is that going to be now? Like you said, Kelly. But if the fight did have to go down, Morgan. You know what I mean?
Can he gain the weight?
No, exactly. Can he gain the weight? But do you think Israel even has a chance at all?
Well, I think he's got a chance because he's really good, but I would definitely put my money on John Jones. He's got the wrestling.
Yeah.
He's probably, if anybody's got the reach on Israel, it's John Jones. He's great on his feet, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think John takes it.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. I think he has to. He's just massive. Massive, and I'd like to see how their reach, exactly. The height is about the same, but I'd like to see how the reach pairs up. You know what I mean? Israel is tough, but I just don't see it happening.
I believe John Jones still has the longest wingspan in the UFC.
I can believe it. He's just huge. He's just massive for 205. Absolutely massive.
There's guys that are taller than him that don't have as long of arms or as long of reach.
Oh, for sure.
Stefan Struve.
Yeah, Stefan Struve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good call. Stefan Struve has kind of got weird short arms for how tall he is for some weird reason.
T-Rex arms.
So
he keeps getting knocked out.
All right. Well, that wraps up that segment. Let's talk some video games. I didn't actually get to play any Zelda. I played very little Zelda this week, Link to the Past. I'm just kind of stuck, and like I said, I just really don't want to look up any walkthroughs. So I'm kind of, you know what I mean? But I think I'm going to unfortunately have to look up a walkthrough just to kind of get through. You know, where's my Nintendo Power? You know, back in the day, you needed you needed a friend with a Nintendo Power subscription just to figure out, you know, what do I need to do next? You know what I mean?
You got Google?
Well, obviously, I don't want to. That's what I'm saying. I want to figure it out on my own. You know what I mean? I don't want to, but I'm going to have to Google that. But that's what I'm saying. You know, back in the day when this game first came out, I mean, there was one kid up the street from me who was a good friend of mine. He had Nintendo Power, so it was the shit. It's absolute shit. But obviously, I played a ton of Orna this week, grinding away, loving the Necromancer still. I'm finding it's such a cool transition right now where before I was so grinding so hard for Orns, you know, to get the next tier. And now I am grinding for experience. Now it's the experience that I'm finding is the hard part, but I'm getting it through the raids. I got a new spell and summon the undead in the game, which really changed up a lot of shit for me. Just, you know, battling dudes for their spots now. It's so, man, I'm just finding myself when I'm doing in transit. The game is perfectly set for me. When I'm in transit, I am just constantly fighting. Next thing you know, I'm at my stop and the doors are closing, and you know what I mean? And I've just lost track of time. It's just perfect for traveling, the way I play it, and just such a cool transition. It's always changing, always evolving, looking for new gear. It just really turning from a different grind to a new grind, and it's just always keeps you on your toes. Still loving, you know, just the aspect of me riding my bike around and having fun. Playing the game, and that's what just separates it. Maybe I'll do a cool trip next weekend or something like that, and go somewhere else, a more remote area. Just park my truck and then ride my bike and off into the sunset. Other than that, though, I really didn't play much video games this weekend. Just a ton of grinding on Orna. Just got up to 180, and which I am at level 180. What about you, Kelly? Any Apex or WoW this week?
Yeah, I've been playing Apex. They have the new map out.
Oh yeah, how is it?
It's pretty good. Like, there's a train that goes around the whole thing.
And you can like hop on and off it?
You can
Oh,
hop on
cool.
and there's like go to different depots, I guess, with like and they usually have like supply bins.
So the train stops and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. Usually it's a pretty heated area.
Of course, yeah. So like, do you go into like box cars or like you go like going right on top of it?
You can kind of like it's not. Yeah, you kind of go on top, but
Yeah.
it's like landings. It's more made for like just like people, I guess, than actual cargo.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
But, yeah, it's pretty cool. Just new areas in the map that I'm just like learning to like it's exploring whatever.
Right. Yeah, figuring it out. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, and they changed like the display a little bit, so it kind of looks different. Like
your HUD.
Yeah, like all that shit. So yeah, they're definitely working on the game. It's kind of cool that they made a whole new map.
Yeah.
But they got rid of the other one. Like,
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, like you can't even go. You can't even. It's not even an option if you're gonna go one map to the other. There's just new map. That's it.
Yeah, but I find with this map, like I hardly ever glitch or like
really
there's, like hardly any lag or anything. Like they made it better somehow.
I guess
probably why they got rid of the other one.
Right. Yeah, because they kind of just crapped that game out when it first started. And I don't think they were really prepared for how successful it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
It was about the same size?
It's about the same size. Yeah, it was almost like an afterthought because they were doing Titanfall 3, but then they switched to Apex Legends, but they're also doing like another game at the same time, the company who made it.
Oh, yeah.
So the other game, I forget what it is, but it's not doing as well.
Huh.
This was like an afterthought.
That's hilarious.
It's like killing it, yeah.
I think it's kind of like Counter-Strike in that way. I mean, Counter-Strike was just kind of an add-on somebody had made, you know what I mean? And then it blew up into a massive game, you know what I mean?
People are still playing it.
They're still playing it hardcore.
Yeah.
It's still super popular, Counter-Strike. Super popular. It's not a terrible game to play. It's fun. I really enjoyed it. It was more nostalgic when I played it, but now it's it's not. I'm terrible at it, so it's just getting destroyed every goddamn time.
I feel like all the players are getting better too, but at the same time, it's like helpful.
Yeah.
Because your team's getting better.
Yeah.
But everybody else is getting a little better too.
Of course. What about you, Morgan? You downloaded the Game Pass?
Yeah, I got the Game Pass because I wanted Gears of War 5.
Yeah. How is it?
So it's free on there. It's really awesome.
Nice.
The story modes for the Gears of War games have always been the best to me.
Yeah.
And I haven't played it a lot yet, but I'm in about halfway through the story mode so
cool.
far. It's really cool. It's kind of dealing with the aftermath of the cogs using the Hammer of Dawn too much previously. And still not getting the job done, taking out the swarm.
Right.
So a lot of people are protesting them at this point.
Crazy.
And, they're still having the Battle of the Swarm because they're still around. It's a pretty cool story.
Cool. I'm playing 4 with Nico right now, and it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. I really like 4. I never played it, but it was free. You know what I mean? It was free, so it's a really fun game. But yeah, not a ton. Is that? Did you download any other games from the Game Pass that you're playing?
Not yet. I've still been playing Madden 18 actually. So
nice.
Been doing pretty good online actually. I haven't lost lately.
Cool. That's funny that people still play it, even though the new one's out too.
It's a good one. I liked it.
No, me too. Yeah, it was good. Sometimes those new games, they tweak a bit too much, and then it's terrible. You've seen that time and time again with a lot of games, especially with the sports series.
A lot of the EA sports games, you get the new one, and you feel like it's the same thing. Like it's an expensive roster update.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just play on EA Access and play the older ones.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. Moving right along. Back by popular demand. Reviewing the reviews. Going back international flair, we had a terrible showing with that stupid-ass state in Maine. I'm not surprised. Anything from Alberta is terrible. Just going to stay away from it altogether. I wish they just built a bridge right over top of it so no one has to drive through that town.
Bridge over.
Exactly, over the entire province. There's a bridge right over top of it. Nothing you need to see there anyways.
May as well go past Saskatchewan and Manitoba too, though.
That's too long of a bridge, Morgan.
There's a sign and it just says Alberta, and then there's like another arrow and it says better places.
Exactly. You got a gas station on one end and a gas station on the other end. Maybe one in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, you probably have to have one in the middle.
But I'm going to do Chick-fil-A. I haven't done Chick-fil-A yet. I talked about doing it. It's hard to do it because it's so good. Everyone loves Chick-fil-A so much. And I'm going over a random one. I've done the East Coast. I've done the West Coast. Now it's time to do right in the middle. KCMO, Kansas City, Missouri. Let's do it here. This one here, this Chick-fil-A has got 1,118 reviews, 4.6 stars. That just tells you right there how hard it is to find a bad review at Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean?
That's a damn good Chick-fil-A they got.
They're all good. I love Chick-fil-A. When I went, like I said, good. There must be drugs, some kind of chemical drugs in this chicken, because I was craving it for weeks afterwards. It was so good.
It's blessed by God.
That must be it. That must be it. Holy water. They're deep frying it in holy water. That's what.
Free range organic.
Free range organic. Oh shit! But as it being two things, America and fast food, you're gonna find the psychos. And it didn't first review right here. DK only review too. It's their first and only review. It's their first and only review, but they have a picture. They already got a picture. So they I got to do my profile. This wasn't done in the heat of the moment. They're like, I got to do a profile picture. I got to make sure I do a funny name. But I'm going to leave Chick-fil-A a not great review. 4 days ago, 2 stars. DK here. They're upset. They were upset. Chick-fil-A is great. Unfortunately, almost half the time I use mobile order, I don't get the right sauces.
Are you assuming someone from KC's a hick?
I'm 100% guaranteeing it. I'm not assuming.
Okay.
I get it. It's sauce, right? But if you're paying that much for a chicken sandwich, take the time to get the sauce correct. I understand once or even twice, but I've lost it. Have happened so many times. Normally I check, and yes, it saved me, but we were in a hurry, and I didn't. And now I have kids who were supposed to be getting a treat, but it doesn't feel like a treat when you don't get everything you asked for. I don't know what I expected when I called the store, but the apology and being told I could drive 15 minutes back to get the sauce I originally asked for wasn't it. So next time that's weird. Okay. In Kane's chicken for us, it must be a typo. I don't know. I don't know what they're going for that. Autocorrect. They may not have as many choices, but at least we get what we ask for.
Must be another restaurant.
It must be, yeah, Kane's Chicken must be a local restaurant in Kansas City or something. But I didn't even know you could get different sauces on your. That's what I'm kind of weird. I didn't even know you could get different sauces on your chicken burger. So I guess you can order a chicken burger. I want like spicy sauce, or I just want like plain mayonnaise or something. I guess I don't know. I don't remember that being an option when I went to Chick-fil-A.
Different flavors, right?
I guess so. Yeah, of course.
I love how he's like, half the time when I use my mobile order, they screw it up, and I use it every time.
I know.
It's like, don't use it.
I know. I didn't know that Chick-fil-A was that sophisticated, though. Number one, you can have a mobile order, and you can pick what kind of sauce you want on your chicken burger. That's kind of weird.
I think you just pray.
That's what most people do. Isn't that what they do when you go to Chick-fil-A? Yeah.
You go there and be like, did God get my order?
Well, that's what happened to me the other day. Is my wife is
it ready for me?
There's like a praying section outside with the pew thing that you kneel on. Yeah. So like outside Chick-fil-A, everyone praying. Please don't mess up my sauces. Amen. Amen. Wait, be honest something. I can see that being very popular. I can see that being very popular.
That's with any fast food place too.
Yeah.
Always check your bag, man.
Of course. I had the same problem. I went to McDonald's the other day and I got a chicken burger for my son and the junior chicken for my son and I got a double cheeseburger for myself.
Yeah.
Guess what? I got 2 chicken burgers.
Yeah, man. This minimum wage worker.
And one I asked for, and the one that I wanted for him, he doesn't like having lettuce on his. You know what I mean? He doesn't like lettuce on it.
No,
I got lettuce on both.
Oh,
but I wasn't upset. It was McDonald's. Exactly. I really wasn't upset. It was McDonald's. I was like, oh, there's McDonald's for you.
I would have gone back and thrown it at them.
No. I was already at home. Can't win that one. I'm not gonna get a assault charge on a chicken burger. Save my assault charge for something legit.
The funny thing is when you stop for a second and look through your bag to see if they got it right, they kind of look at you funny.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah, they got all upset.
It's like, what, you don't think we can get it right? We do.
Yeah, I know you can't. The one thing I love about Chick-fil-A, though, is the waffle fries. Love me some waffle fries. I love fries. But when you start switching the fries, curly fries, waffle fries, fuck, I love them so much. Especially if you haven't tried it out there, Carl's Jr. here has it. Waffle fry poutine. Fuck, is that good. Fuck, is that good. Oh, it's so good. The waffle fries just coat the gravy perfectly. Absolutely love it. Let's do a positive review here, though. 5 stars, DM, 22 reviews, 2 photos, and one of the photos was Chick-fil-A a month ago. 5 stars. I finally tried Chick-fil-A, and I'm so glad I did. The best spicy chicken sandwich I ever had, compared to other well-known fast food chains. All right, this is fake now. This is totally fake now. The chicken is so juicy and tender. I forgot I was eating chicken sandwich instead of a burger. Love, love, love.
Kind of weird.
I know.
Especially
I forgot I was eating a chicken sandwich instead of a burger.
If burgers are better, why does it not buy a burger,
that's
man?
weird.
That's like that. I don't know.
I know exactly. So you're totally right on that, Kelly. Like, if you wanted the chicken sandwich, why didn't you go to like Whole Foods or something, get a chicken sandwich? You know what I mean? And then said oh, I didn't want to have a chicken burger. I'd prefer a chicken sandwich, but I ordered the chicken burger, and boom, I thought I was eating a chicken sandwich. I'm psychotic. 5 stars.
What is the difference between a chicken sandwich and a chicken burger?
Well, a chicken sandwich, you're gonna have the fine sliced meat. You're not gonna have breaded chicken. Oh,
you mean like a deli meat sandwich?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's gonna be like the breaded chicken, I know you can get like the char broiled grilled chicken, which I've never.
Who prefers chicken deli meat to like a chicken patty?
That's what I'm thinking is weird. That's what I'm saying. This person's psycho. That's what I'm saying. That's very weird review. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, man.
Fuck that guy.
I know. Oh shit, Morgan, you were 100% right. Fuck that guy.
That's basically the whole.
There was one other one I had. Oh, here it is. Perfect. This person, I'm just gonna say their name is Coffee Lover, so you can just tell they're just a whack job already. They took the time to have add a profile picture, 3 reviews, 1 photo, 5 months ago. So disappointed with this location. I love starting my mornings with their delicious diet lemonade. But 3 times in the last 2 weeks, I've been denied that yummy goodness.
What?
Why? We haven't squeezed the lemons yet today. While I'm thrilled to know they serve a legitimate hand-squeezed product, I expect it to be ready when they open. Wow.
Well, they should have went back there and squeezed some lemons for this.
I know, exactly. I'm a little bit on his side. Only 3 stars. So even though he did not get his, as he says, yummy goodness.
I'm with this guy. I hate when they don't have what I want when I go to a fast food place.
Well, you know what's the worst? If you go to Tim Hortons first thing in the morning sometimes, then they don't even have coffee. I'm like, I don't even want coffee, but you can't even get anything right for me yet.
How does that work, man?
I know, exactly.
Coffee?
Poor timing. It's
Tim Hortons.
Poor management.
I was sick and I went there at 8 at night and they were like, we don't have soup this late because I was trying to get chicken noodle soup.
Yeah. Weird, man.
Well, you got it on the menu still there.
They should have time slots if they're not going to fucking serve it.
Well, it's like these places are making fucking millions. And they're like, no, we had to stop. We had to dump the soup out because it's almost closing. What the fuck's wrong with that? Soup probably cost you $1 to have the whole pot of it. And you're going to toss it out to cut cost?
And what's going on with the milkshake machines at McDonald's?
These are the real issues, folks. These are the real issues. Yeah. I love that one, though. That guy's whacked out, too. That guy's totally whacked out. He is thrilled, though, that they hand squeeze it. They're definitely hand squeezing his with spit.
Oh, man.
What I like about this is all the people giving the negative reviews, it's like it's like either 1 or 2nd or 3rd review, and here's another one. We'll round out the segment here with this one here. Oh boy, I love this person's name, but I'm not going to say it. JB, 2 reviews, 1 star, 1 week ago. And this person is definitely very, very redneck. I went to Chick-fil-A and I wasn't given a menu to decide what I wanted. I don't...
Isn't there just a giant one over the counter where you order all your shit? Isn't that the menu?
Where the fuck gives you a menu at a fast food place?
I know. No one seated me. I had to stand and wait like an idiot. I was waiting for the hostess to come seat me at this fine establishment of Chick-fil-A.
This guy thinks he's at Earl.
I know. I don't know where this guy thinks he is. The woman who took my order was very rude. I wasn't given any Chick-fil-A sauce to go with my chicken tenders. Also, the lemonade I was given was sour.
But at least it was squeezed.
The juice squeezed from a lemon is sour.
Man.
I got news for you. It must be your first time trying lemonade. It's sour. That's the whole point.
Is another dude's yummy goodness.
Exactly. You got one dude saying it's yummy goodness. You got one dude saying it's sour. And how, I don't know, the other guy didn't touch base on too. He said it was diet lemonade. How is it diet lemonade if they're just squeezing the shit in there?
That's why it's sour.
Exactly. Oh, this is fucking gold, man. This is gold. There was so much pulp in my drink, I poured it out. I'm very disappointed with my experience. I can tell exactly what the fuck happened to this guy. He probably showed up there, and he's like, where's my menu? Why am I not being seated? What's wrong with you people? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then so he goes up to the counter, and he's probably a total fucking prick to the front, to the cashier. And I bet you what they did, they gave him the bottom of that fucking tub of fucking lemonade. Where all the pulp was. They just fucking scooped that shit right in there. Here it was like fucking sauerkraut, his fucking his lemonade. All pulp and just a little bit of juice. I love it though, man.
I just went out there. Nobody gave me a menu. It's all pissed
exactly. Off. I know exactly. And they're like, what?
That was fucking rude. What do you mean?
Where's my menu? Why have I not been seated?
Exactly.
Why my lemonade taste so bad?
Exactly.
So sour.
You didn't add 10 pounds of sugar to it. That's why I like it. Oh, America, don't ever change. I love it, man. That was great. That was really good. Out of a place that had such good reviews, it's not hard to find the psychos in America. I love it. Well done, America. You never cease to amaze me on how backwater you really are.
Some places. Just like some places in Canada.
Everywhere in the South. Just joking, of course. I love America.
America, fuck yeah.
Los Angeles is alright.
Yeah, well, it's got its ups and its downs. Everywhere it's got its ups and its downs.
I like California.
Yeah, California for
good
sure.
Song.
For sure. Very good songs about California. So many good songs. But we ran a little bit long here, folks. We will just take a brief little breather here. We will be right back after these messages.
Do you like adventure games with excitement, mystery, and magic?
No.
The Secret of Monkey Island, coming at you October 15th, 1990.
The year is 2022. You're driving around in your car that jumps for some reason, and you can get out and shoot people. Technology is today. Blaster Master on the NES platform. Release date June 17, 1988. Save up your bottle tops. When street gangs have overrun your city and they kidnap your girlfriend, what do? Call the cops? Or fight them? River City Ransom. Going through the streets, eating food, fighting guys and learning techniques, stealing their pocket change for food, all in the hopes that one day you will get your girlfriend back. Coming out April 25th, 1989. Get your copy now. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our messages and go grab yourself a cold, tall glass of water on the house. Tap water, that is. Breaking down the weekend of fights. I want to touch base on the T-Rex. Clarissa Shields was supposed to take on Ivana Habazin. But at the weigh-ins, Ivana's trainer, head coach, gets cold-cocked and knocked out cold on the hard floor in the lobby. He was obviously acting a fool. We all watched the video. He was acting a fool in the weigh-ins, getting up in Clarissa Shields' face, and then also one of Clarissa Shields, I don't know if it was a relative or a training partner, and just, kind of going off the rails a little bit. It's a pretty low-key weigh-in, really, as far as fights go. And here you got one dude acting a total jackass. Next thing you know, he's totally knocked out cold and being stretched out. Fight gets canceled. How fucking crazy is that? Like, how many nutty weigh-ins have we seen, especially with boxing, the British boxers, of the mid-2000 to late 2000 or late to early 2010s, you know what I mean? With all those crazy dudes, getting into fights and shit like that. To the not the WWE, but to the UFC weigh-ins. But never, even with Conor fucking McGregor throwing a fucking dolly, have we never seen a fight get canceled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not when the fighters got injured, yes, but not when...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like how nuts is that we, that we even see something like that can happen?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Gets knocked out, so
yeah,
you can't fight.
Yeah, because your coach get knocked out. Nothing happened to her.
And he obviously wanted to fight, so...
He was trying to pick a fight with everybody.
Yeah.
He was trying to pick a fight with everybody and anybody and anybody.
He got what he was asking for, and then he canceled a fight.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how fucked up is that? He knew she was gonna lose.
Yeah, probably.
Crazy though. You know what I'm saying? Like, never seen a guy's fight get canceled because of that. I thought it was odd, but I guess if it was her maybe her head coach who was gonna be in her corner the whole fight. Maybe that's the reason why. But still, even then, you'd think the fight goes on. The show must go on, folks. You know what I mean? Now both these, they probably can't be making a ton of money, and now none of them are going to get paid now because of this. That's what I'm thinking. It's about getting paid, and now no one's getting paid, and that's what's kind of shitty about this. Weird though, very weird. I did catch Valor. I touched base. Valor was about 2 weeks ago. Valor won. The Ken Shamrock doesn't own. He's just the president. I don't think he's the main owner. I think he's just like a part owner. Yeah. And I caught some of it. It was actually pretty good. And it was deadly though, man. This dude got knocked out until like next week. Like he couldn't get up. Like they couldn't revive him. Like the whole place was like, oh shit, this guy just get murdered. It was crazy though. But I just want to kind of touch base briefly because of the pit it was in. But I don't really like the pit rule. So it's kind of like a cheap knockoff on Karate Combat where the dudes are more wearing pants. So they're wearing pants and shoes, boxing shoes, and there's and you know what I mean, and so they can fight like that. So I thought that was a bit odd, especially Sokoju. He was wearing, who looked like ancient, by the way. Sokoju has not aged well, and he he was wearing white pants, and you can imagine blood on white pants. It was not a good mix. So his pants were like covered in blood, but it was actually enjoyable. But like I said, I got to touch base on the pit. The pit is like it's like a slope, so you got like a round ring. There's no ropes, no cage, and it's like a sloped area, but it's very gradually sloped. But you can't fight on the pit wall at all. So I thought that was weird. Like, why even have the pit wall if you can't use it to an advantage or anything at all? Like, as soon as you step foot on that, the ref's like, get everyone off, everyone's off. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
So
I know.
It's sloped?
It's
like,
sloped.
Kind of like that Chuck Norris thing back in the day?
No, more like that. Yeah, you're right, Morgan. It was like a karate event that was like that. Yeah, exactly like that. It was exactly like that.
I think it was on Spike TV like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, maybe. A long time ago. But you could at least step on it. You know what I mean? And in this, you can't touch it at all. You breathe on it, the referee loses it. So I thought that was kind of weird about it, that he was going to be such an asshole about it. So I thought that was kind of odd. But, with Karate Combat, you use the wall, it's much more sloped in Karate Combat, where you use the wall to your advantage. You know what I mean? Where you can beat the shit out of the dude when he's up against the wall. That's what I was hoping we would see here. It was not the case. So I thought that was weird. Why have it? Why have this spectacle when people can't even use it? So I thought that was odd. But it was actually not a bad event. It wasn't a bad. Like I said, I kind of touched base on it. I wanted to report on, but at least I got to see what this whole pit, I think, was about. Let's talk Bellator 229. Where was this one? Oh, in Temecula, California. Obviously, the hometown of Dan Henderson. A lot of underground fights. It wasn't a bad card at all though for being a lower level card. A lot of finishes on this one here. Tony Wilson versus Joe Schilling was a great fight. Those dudes went 3 rounds toe to toe, and Joe Schilling's definitely got knocked the fuck out. That was a crazy one. Carrie Melendez, the wife of Gilbert Melendez, finally puts on a watchable fight. The last 2 outings she had before this fight, were they rough to watch. And she actually puts on a well-rounded show. The fighter she was up against, Mandy Polk, was actually quite tough, very tough competitor, and it actually wasn't a terrible fight. But the co-main event was really good. I really like this one. Gochi Yamauchi taking on Sada Wad, and Gochi Yamauchi getting the armbar, a beautiful armbar. Within the first round, 2 minutes and 40 seconds, Sada Wad has to scream out the tap. It was slick, it was tight, and there was nowhere he was going to go without his arm getting broken, giving Gochi Yamauchi the number 1 title for the most submissions in Bellator right now, too, with 7. Broke a 5-way tie. 5 different dudes had 6 submissions in Bellator, and now Yamauchi is the sole winner of that. So that's pretty cool. Do we see the UFC call him up now, unfortunately? You're really good. You're hired. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see.
When they have a Japanese card.
Maybe. Well, he's Brazilian Japanese.
Oh,
yeah,
and he could be on both then.
He could be on, yeah, exactly like Machida. Exactly.
He's perfect for the international.
Exactly. And he's more of a grappler. Let's break him down here. I don't really know all that whole much about him here. 6 degrees of separation. Gochi Yamauchi. He is born in Japan, but I do know they were talking about him moving to Brazil. 26 years old only, so he's really young. He only lost he's got a few losses in Bellator. He's been fighting in Bellator for a long time. Holy shit, been fighting in Bellator since 2013. He's got a lot of fights in Bellator. No wonder he's got 7 submission wins. Wow, the dude's fought a lot. What is his record?
Too.
Yeah,
many losses.
24-4. That's a very good record. Absolutely, 19 submissions, 4 decisions, only 1 KO win. All of his losses are by decision too, so that's a good stat too. To only have ever lost by decision, that's a good stat as well.
That's a great record.
Let's see here. In Bellator's only his losses came to lost to Bubba Jenkins. That's a tough dude, a good wrestler. He's beat Ryan Couture, beat Adam Piccolotti as well. Lost to Michael Chandler only. Michael Chandler's very tough. He beat Daniel Weichel by split decision, and then getting the verbal tap from Sada Wad. Good. He's got a really good record. Can't wait to see more from him. 155 too. They need more. They need more dudes at 155.
I've seen champions with worse records than that.
Oh yeah, big time.
Michael Bisping.
Even Robbie Lawler.
BJ Penn.
Oh, yeah. Well, Lawler went through a rough stretch there for a while, and then he got good again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Strikeforce. He had like a bad run. I think he was in a real bad had a bad win-loss record in Strikeforce. I don't think he I don't think he won many at all.
BJ had a good record when he was champ.
Yeah.
After that, all downhill.
Basically, Frankie Edgar, and that was it. And that brings us to the main event of the evening. Lorenz Monsoon Larkin taking on Andrei Korshkov. Good fight. I went to split decision. I didn't know how to score that one with Lorenz Larkin really destroying Korshkov with the nasty ground and pound, dropping him with a knee in the second round. I guess you could count it a 10-8 round. But Korshkov in my books had the first and third round. Wasn't doing much with it. He was just more controlling the cage, controlling the clinch, landing the takedowns, even though Lorenz Larkin got up quickly after the takedowns. But Lorenz Larkin obviously doing more damage, much more damage than Andrei Korshkov. But good fight. It was actually a really good fight from two dudes kind of laid a few stinkers in their previous bouts, really getting it done, and I think making them both get paid still, even though they lost. Or even though one dude had to lose. Let's talk UFC 243. Robert Bobby Knuckles Whitaker taking on Israel the Style Bender Adesanya. Great card. I watched the undercard too. Short card though, only 11 fights. Kind of weird.
Crikey.
That's shorter than my uncle's Lagoma.
I don't know if it was a good day for Australia either.
No, that's what I was thinking too. There's a lot of Australian dudes got beat up too in that as well. Only one, Megan Anderson, she won. That was a nice triangle choke. It looked like this Sahara dos Santos, even for being a Brazilian fighter, she looked terrible on the ground. I think you have to come out the womb with a blue belt or something. But that was terrible ground game from her. I was very shocked at how sloppy that triangle was, and eventually it sunk in. Brad Riddle versus Jamie Malarkey. Fuck, if that fight didn't win fight of the night, I don't know what it would, man. That was a crazy fight. Those dudes were both bloodied, knocking each other down. That was a really crazy fight. With going for submissions, both of them, and then both the guys getting knocked down, both the guys getting ground and pound, almost finishing each other both multiple times throughout the fight. It was a great match, really good match. Well, good matchmaking on that one. Kalen Porter, and kind of not a great one against Maki Pitololo. It wasn't bad, though. Two tough dudes, I'll give him that. And then Jake Matthews gets a real stinker, boring one. He's kind of had a more boring, safe style these days, beating Rostam Akhman. But coming down to the main card, opening up with Jorgen De Castro KOing Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa was supposed to be this next up-and-coming dude. The training partner of Mark Hunt. He just absolutely gets posterized, KO'd. That was a crazy finish. Just, eyes looking different directions, arms all fucked up. Let's break this dude down. I don't know who the fuck this dude is here. Jorgen De Castro. I know he's from Cape Verde, but he's actually lives in Portugal. 6-0 at heavyweight. Getting the win on the Contenders Series. That's how he made it. Oh, fighting in the CS MMA is not bad too. That's a good place to make your name as well. And he just knocked out everyone. Went to decision too, so that's good to get that decision under your belt. Especially for a heavyweight dude to go the distance. Sometimes can be a death sentence.
Well, the other guy was crazy. The other guy was running in head first.
Yeah, exactly.
Swinging for the fences, and this guy threw a great counter.
Exactly. Right on the button. And then, beating a guy with leg kicks. Wow, on the Contenders Series, and then knocking out Justin Tafa. You're 100% right on that, though, Morgan. Exactly. He walked right into a huge haymaker and got knocked the fuck out. Terrible amateur record, though. He was only 1-2 amateur. Kind of weird. Yeah, and then goes pro and then doesn't lose it. Now he's 6-0. Big dude. He's a bit shorter though for the heavyweights. Only 6'1". But he's a big ass dude. Jorgen De Castro. We'll see more of him. We see Diego Lima win a split decision against Luke Jumo. That was actually not a bad fight too. Nice. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a terrible decision. But we see Sergey Spivak arm triangle choking Tua Vaisa. That was a really good one. Tua Vaisa though, it just doesn't seem like he's learned his lesson. Every time he fights these dudes, he gets taken down and really can't fucking do anything with it.
It's too bad because I love him.
Yeah, me too. He's a great fighter. He's a bit of a wacky character. He's very popular with the fans.
On his feet, he's crazy good.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, big time. That's why Sergey had no choice but to really take it to the ground. Almost had the record. He had 7 takedowns into the second round. The record for heavyweights is 10 takedowns in a match. And I'm sure Curtis Blades holds that. And Sergey Spivak, just taking down Tua Vaisa at will here, having some really nice takedowns, but it just was, even you could see his body language when he got taken down, I think it was the 4th time or the 5th time. Tua Vaisa just like putting his arms up, shaking his head. That's not what you want to see. You got to fight. This is a fucking fight. There's rules in place that this is what can happen to you. So you have to evolve and change your game plan up to be able to at least defend takedowns or know what to do to get back up. It bothers the shit out of me how these dudes don't train for that. Don't train for little escapes. You know what I mean? Train for an escape. You know what's going to happen. You got to come up with some kind of game plan. If that doesn't work, then fine. Then you're stuck. You know what I mean? You're up against someone who's way tougher. But you got to try, and that's not what I'm seeing from Tuivasa here. I'm not even seeing him trying an attempt. You know what I mean? He was doing the most out of this one because more Spivak kept on getting in that front headlock. You know what I mean? And that's only the reason why Tuivasa was getting up every time, because that front headlock was super easy to get up, and he couldn't even get out of that most of the time. I'm just, you know what I mean? At this stage in the game of how evolved of MMA is and the UFC, I'm just kind of, you know what I mean? I'm really disgusted a little bit, and I want to see him get better. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Everything's backwards down under. Even their toilets.
But it was a good arm triangle choke by Sergey Spivak, and it was cool. You know, he was a really humble dude. You know, saying how he thanked him and wanted to God bless him and his family, and so I think that's really cool. He's a super humble dude, and he's a real tough fighter. Doesn't look like he has that killer instinct. You know what I mean? But he is tough. He's very tough, and I like to see him in the heavyweight division.
I think there's a thing with a lot of the really tough stand and bang type guys where they don't even take like a submission loss as a loss. They're like, well, that guy didn't beat me up. He took me down and submitted me, so yeah. I'm still tougher than him.
Yeah. I'll fight him in the parking lot right now type shit, right? That's exactly it. Co-main event. Fuck, was that ever a great fight, too? Dan Hangman Hooker taking on Raging Al Iaquinta. That was a really good decision, too. That's why I really liked about this card. Maybe you can attest to it, too, Kelly. I was like, you know, all the decisions I actually enjoyed. Yeah. You know what I mean? I really actually enjoyed the decisions. Even on the undercard, a lot of the decisions were actually really tough fought fights that weren't like two dudes sparring and, you know, someone not trying to lose. It was actually two dudes going to decision with someone trying to win. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed them. That's what we saw here with Dan Hooker versus Al Iaquinta with that calf kick that was just destroying Iaquinta's leg, but he did not give up. You know, even landing in the second there, really landing hard on Dan Hooker a few times too, really making him have to back up. But just the complete moveset of Dan Hooker, he was really good on the ground. You know what I mean? With that one notable one where Iaquinta was going to go for the double leg takedown, but instead Dan Hooker kind of just reversed and just threw his hips into his chest, and Hooker just fell. I mean, Iaquinta just fell over because it's such, you know what I mean, for the position that he was in, it was perfect timed, kind of almost like a push with Dan Hooker, kind of like a nut shot. He really was humping him. You know, it worked though. It really worked though, and it knocked him over, and I thought that was a really slick little move. I really liked that a lot. But the stand-up game of Dan Hooker is really, really good. You know, he's got a great record, and I love the call-out afterwards too, calling out Dustin Poirier in New Zealand. Huge call-out. That's what the UFC wants to see. They don't want to see these humble dudes in the mic. They want to see dudes call their shot, and I like that call out too. You know, he called out the shot for Australia, and now he's calling out the shot for New Zealand. And I think obviously we probably should see Adesanya fight somebody in New Zealand. They always love doing that, letting the champ have their day in the sun, and I think that is what we will see. Good fight though. I gotta ask you though, Kelly. Do you think he deserves the title shot? Or like a contendership bout after that.
Dan Hooker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think Al Iaquinta is top. You know, he rated was 6, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
I think he is like at least top, 6.
Yeah.
Still. He's always been the guy who's like super durable. He'll fight you to
For sure.
And short notice with Khabib, he went 5 rounds, you know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. And 5 rounds, exactly.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, and I think if you can beat Al Iaquinta, then why not?
The weird
Iaquinta gave Khabib like his best fight recently.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
No one's lasted that long with him. So the weird thing about Dan Hooker though is he lost to Edson Barbosa. You know what I mean? That's you know, a lot of people do lose to him because Edson Barbosa's a really tough dude to fight, but it just, you know what I mean, he doesn't have the best Edson Barbosa doesn't have the best win-loss record.
I would say Barbosa's top 10 too though.
I don't think he is. That's the thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think he is.
I think he's really good, but he just,
I think he's
he
more.
Doesn't always win. He's not. Yeah. He's not steady.
Mm-hmm. I think if he would have beaten Paul Felder, I think he would have been. But that loss to Paul Felder, I think, dropped him down to 12th. I'm going to say 12th is where he is. I'm not saying he's not top 10. He's a great gatekeeper and a great fighter for the UFC at 155. Mm-hmm. I think he has a long, long career still ahead of him, at least 5 fights. And I always love watching Edson Barbosa fights, but he does lose. He's about 50-50, I think, in his UFC career.
Recently, yeah.
But I'm not down it. What do you think, Morgan? Do you think Dan Hooker deserves that the next step up at 155, or does he take a little bit of a step back?
I think Poirier would be a good matchup for him at this point.
Yeah.
If he beats him, then maybe some sort of like a title eliminator fight after.
Yeah. So if you can you guys both say this, like if he beats Poirier, do you think he gets a title shot?
I could see it.
Wow.
I would say one more fight after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like one where another guy who just came off a big win.
Yeah.
And then whoever wins that gets the title shot.
I could see it because I think Ortega has got to get, or Dustin Ortega has got to get. He's moved up to 155 now. I think he's got to get that. Maybe a healthy nod too.
Well, the reason why I wouldn't rush the title shot is because they're trying to put on cards down there and down under Australia, New Zealand. You want to build this guy up a bit and juice it for like some good pay-per-view buys, right?
Sure, for sure, yeah.
If you just throw him in a title shot and he gets his ass kicked by Khabib, he's yesterday's news guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely, totally is.
Give him Connor then.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a tough one for him though. Connor, like he's still pretty good.
Mm.
And a guy like this, I don't know if he could take Connor.
Dan Hooker's huge though. He's so tall. He's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. He is a lot bigger than Connor.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. Yeah, but I like Dan Hooker too. I really like him a lot. I just think maybe because I think he was only ranked 16th. You know what I mean? I think he was or 15th or 16th, and he called out Al Quinta. Al Quinta was man enough to say, "Hey, fuck that. I'll take that fight." And he didn't look bad. He didn't look bad. He did get knocked down a few times, but he didn't look bad. That brings us to the main event of the evening. Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker. I gotta say, it was a great match. The Marvel Arena too. Like, how cool is that? Marvel's got their own arena, and it's like one of the biggest arenas. You know what I mean? One of the biggest arenas in the world too, in a good spot in Australia of all places. You know what I mean? It's weird. Why would they have it in? I guess Wolverine's from Australia, Thor's from Australia.
Wolverine's Canadian, man.
No. The actor who plays him. Yeah, the actor who plays him. You know what I mean? So, Thor's Australian too. You know what I mean? Who knows what other actors? Venom is Australian too, right? So all these actors that play these Marvel characters are Australian. So it's that's kind of funny. But I thought it was kind of cool. DC doesn't have a stadium. You know what I mean? But Marvel, that Disney money, they got a stadium. But man, what a fight. First round was fucking super crazy, man. Did we ever see, Robert Whittaker having a hard time coming in, getting tagged by Adesanya, really pushing the pace was Robert Whittaker, but just Adesanya's just getting out of distance to a lot of those shots. Robert Whittaker punching air for a lot of that fight, still landing though. He was landing the odd one, but still having to throw 4 to get one. I think was the hard part, and really eating 2 every time. For every one punch, he was eating 2 or 3, even though some of them were small. As we saw later on when his nose got busted up, we saw that they were adding up. And then Robert Whittaker kind of winning the round, pulling out the round, except for like the last 5 seconds. How crazy was that? I got up to go grab a drink, and I come back. I'm like, "What? Is the fight over? What happened here?" And he got dummied. Like in the biggest Zach Morris award ever goes to Robert Whittaker in this one here. He was saved by the bell. You could see when he got knocked down, his eyes were like, he was knocked out. But that's what I'm saying. He was totally dazed, and if Adesanya would have cranked him, on the ground, his hands were down by his side. And he was up, like he was going to get up, but you know what I mean? But he was still, his hands are down by his side. He's going to get up, but all he was going to get up to go into was that punch. And the ref waves it off as the bell had rung. Like, that has got to be the biggest save by the bell moment, I think, in the history of combat sports. That was crazy. The other one was a crazy one. Back in the day, it was Mayhem Miller versus Jake Shields. And he had him in the rear naked choke. It was in Strikeforce for the 185-pound belt. And Mayhem Miller had Jake Shields in the rear naked choke, and it's in tight. And you can just totally tell Jake Shields just about to go out, because he knows if he got enough time, if he's just about to go out, boom, saved by the bell. You know what I mean? Like, that was a crazy moment too. But I think there's a new winner. The new Zach Morris crown goes to Robert Whittaker. And then obviously the second round, we see much more of the same, but Adesanya almost finding his range a bit more too, and just clipping Robert Whittaker in that crazy exchange. They were really going at it, and Robert Whittaker knew I got to put it on this guy now. If I got to really tag this guy to try to slow him down, or else I'm going to have trouble the rest of this fight. And he tried, but unfortunately he got tagged so hard, gets knocked out, gets dropped. We have a new champion. It was crazy. It was really crazy. It really looked like he was gaining momentum there, and then boom, the lights get turned out, and we have an new middleweight champion of the world. Crazy fight. Crazy fight. Didn't expect that to happen. I thought it'd go a lot longer than that, you know what I mean? But we did not see that. We saw a quick finish, and that's it. Good card though. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. The Bobby Knuckles thing. That's Robert Whittaker's new. I don't think it's actually technically his nickname, but that's what everyone was calling him. Australian. Bobby Knuckles. Yeah.
I really don't understand why Bobby Knuckles wasn't trying to wrestle this guy.
Yeah. Not even an attempt.
Because if you told me that he was going to come out and try to strike him, I'd be like, okay, he's going to lose.
Yeah, not even a single attempt.
Mix it up a bit because he's kind of more of a well-rounded guy, where Israel's like just next level striker.
You'd even think, like press him up against the fence, give it some time. It's exactly that. You want to nullify his best attribute is striking. 100%. Sure, you're a great striker too, Robert Whittaker. You're a great striker too. But maybe is Israel Adesanya a little bit better than you? And then especially after the first round, Kelly, you know what I mean? You took a few licks. You know what I mean? You knew he was quick. You knew he had some good counter punches and some good feints and was really dancing around there. And then he knocked you down really hard. You'd think, okay, now I gotta play it safe, guys. I'm gonna go for a takedown. I'm gonna go like punch takedown, hold him up against the fence, take him down, get some ground and pound. So anything can happen. Yeah. Then you have the advantage. You know what I mean? You thought he would have done it, but no. Second round, he comes in swinging even harder. You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately,
you're coming in swinging at a guy who's like a half a foot taller than you.
Yeah,
is super fast, counter striker.
Yeah,
great game plan.
Bravo. He got the best of him. I think Robert Whittaker needs one more fight, and then then he will. One fight away from the title, or do you think he gets it though, Kelly? Do you think he gets an instant rematch?
I don't think he deserves it.
Wow.
Not from that performance.
Wow, yeah.
Got knocked out twice.
I think exactly that. I think that's what a lot of people were talking was the ring rust.
Yeah.
Did that ring rust play effect to Robert Whittaker? I think having a fight away from the title shot kind of have some. Yeah, exactly. It would be better. Not
if he
facing.
just jumps back in with Israel, I don't think it'll go that well for him.
No.
Maybe if he has a few fights, work on his game.
Yeah. Just don't give him Yoel Romero again.
Oh, fuck no. Trying to end his career.
I gotta fight this guy a third time? I guess maybe. I can see Jared Cannonier, maybe.
Crikey.
I think Jared... Crikey! I think Jared Cannonier would be a good fight. I think that one...
Smiley and Sam Alvey. Give someone super fucking easy. Someone to beat up.
He's like one of the early guys when they start playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, Glass Jaw Joe.
Glass Joe.
A fun game I was playing the other day. That Switch, if you have the year subscription, you get all these Nintendo games for free and all these Super Nintendo games for free.
They have a Super Nintendo controller for it now.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it looks super cool. Yeah, it looks actually really super cool. But that was a fun game on it. Well then, I guess you should wrap it up then. Anything you want to talk about, Kelly? Anything you got on your mind, buddy?
Not much. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Morgan, anything you want? Anything grinding your gears?
Not really.
Yeah.
I did really like the SmackDown.
Yeah.
I thought The Rock was great.
Yeah.
Saying that Corbin looks like a homeless Burger King on crack.
Yeah.
And also, coining the phrase STD for him.
Yeah, that was great. That whole session was really good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
And Becky.
Yeah, it was super good.
I liked it.
It really got the crowd fucking fired up. That's what I think it did the most. Was the crowd was so fucking on the edge of their seats, standing up and just
electrified.
Electrified. Yep, the most electrified. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see what comes tonight with Hell in a Cell, and then Monday night is supposed to be huge. And Monday night too, and then we got the draft is coming right around the corner as well. Yeah, can't wait. Hit us up on Twitter, folks, @andnewpodcast. Special shout out to everyone out there listening, tuning in every week. I don't know who these people are. We got a whole whackload, a handful of people who download the episodes right away, right off the bat. It gets. Yeah. I don't know who you are, but thank you. That's super nice. And it's not me. It's not me. That's
Preach.
That's what I'm saying. So that's just kind of a cool feeling. You know what I mean? There's people that they get they have a notification on their phone saying, you know what I mean? And new podcast has a new episode. Oh, cool! I'm gonna listen to it right away.
That's what I love that when you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I know exactly. I know. I just love that. That's nice though. It's a good feeling that you know what I mean that we mean something to somebody out there. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in every week. You know, maybe Morgan will be back again. We'll talk more wrestling. With how crazy the wrestling's been going. Obviously, MMA is always going to be the number one topic on this show, but love talking wrestling. Hitting us up on Twitter whether you guys want wrestling or MMA or both. You know, we're seeing with Cain Velasquez now in the WWE against Brock Lesnar. We're seeing this transition right now. It's a fucking new era. It's insane. Absolutely fucking insane.
Do you think if they have a fight in WWE,
yep,
that they will follow it up with a return to the UFC and fight again there?
How crazy would that be? Fuck, that'd be nuts. They have a match in WWE and then like the next week or something like that, they have a match in UFC in the cage. I've always talked about WWE having a UFC match. You know what I mean? They want to be about this new era.
That thing they did back in the day.
Tough. I think it was Tough Enough or something. Yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was something. It was like a boxing. But let's have an actual
Brawl
MMA.
for all or something.
Brawl for all. Yeah. If they have an actual MMA fight.
Do you think it would be hard to do the wrestling bit knowing you're going to have a real fight like in a week from then without like actually trying to hurt the other guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Well, especially when that's kind of what popped in my head too. Good call, Kelly, because it's Cain Velasquez. It's Cain Velasquez we're talking about here. The guy you could blow on him and he gets injured, right? So exactly that. Maybe you'd have to have the MMA fight.
I think Cain is too decent of a human to do that, but I could see Brock spiking him in his head before that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you'd have to do the MMA first.
Yeah, you have to do the MMA first, then have the aftermath take place in the wrestling ring with the drama of that. Works for me. But that's what I think WWE has to do. They have to have that MMA match. Have that MMA match, and maybe have a few other dudes in it too. You know what I mean? Jack Swagger, we see. You know, they have
Lashley,
Bobby Lashley. What's
Lashley versus Batista.
Matt Riddle, yeah, exactly. Good call, man. They got Matt Riddle on the roster too.
Matt Riddle versus Goldberg.
Yeah, exactly. They have some beef, exactly. Even, you know what I mean? Have Dolph Ziggler put his money where his mouth is. He's talking about actually how tough he is. Let's see you in the ring then, man.
Let's see if CM Punk can fight.
He's like, wait, it's not fake again? Damn it! Oh shit! Only time will tell, folks. We ran a good show. We had a good show. Welcome back, Morgan. It's always fun doing the show with you, man.
It was fun coming.
Yeah, man. You're always welcome back anytime you like, my man. And we had a great time with Kelly as always. Well then, for producer extraordinaire Kelly, for Morgan and myself, you've been listening to the